Okay, folks, I'm actually here. Hi, hello, welcome to Restore Belief with Nikki. I am Nikki. Uh, let's see, introductions. Hi, welcome to Restore Belief with Nikki. I am Nikki Jacobs. I am a psychic medium and lifelong ET abductee, a participant in the GATE program. Then that led into a forced situation of being a forced participant in my labs, and then into SSP. And the GATE program for me was I ended up in a MK Ultra type of torture situation, so which happened to some kids, other kids that did not. So today is kind of a forum. If you are in my chat, please say hello. It will help me to find out if this is working correctly or not, because I've had all kinds of problems. So, okay. Oh, I'm gonna put this big ice pack behind my back. I'm a little on the warm side. It's not as bad as earlier in the week. Oh my. That ice pack really got wet. Oh, hey! Hi! Oh, thank you. Oh, Joe, you're here! Don't tell me what to do. Yeah, no kidding. I hear that really well. Hey, Jody, how you doing? So tonight is just an open forum, mostly because it's been such an incredibly busy week. Oh, buzzing. Sorry, just... Woo! Hello. Dropped that. Okay. Had to unplug. Alright, so for those that really want information about ET abductions and things of that nature, on Wednesday's podcast during the live stream broadcast, Kayla had asked me a lot of really hardcore questions. Now, one of the things that I'm going to say about that is that I am no expert. Hello, fireworks. I'm no expert. I am an experiencer. I am a contactee as well as an abductee, and all of it revolves around being an experiencer. And so I just want that said. Fireworks were not... Stop. That's not okay. I will remove if that keeps going. Anyway, so I want it said that if you've got somebody who is an ET abductee, oops. Thank you, Joe. So if you have somebody that you're watching that is an ET abductee and they start calling themselves an expert, run. All of us are experiencers, whether we like it or not. We're an ET abductee or a contactee. There's different connotations with either one of those. Different meanings is what that means if you don't know. That all said, Kayla asked me a lot of really good questions that I've not been asked before. And that's why I'm mentioning this. It's also in my description box. I put the link in there for the day and I don't remember what the date. It was Wednesday. I just don't remember what that date is right now. And so it gives the allotted approximate allotted times when different subjects started, and there were 3 main subjects for that day. So listen to the beginning, and then an hour. I think it's an hour and 11 minutes or an hour and 12 minutes in, and it gives the times. Well, not exact timestamps, but it gives the numbers so they can go in and listen to the questions that she asked me about my ET abductions and what ETs possibly want and all of that. Like I said, I am not an expert in this subject matter. I am simply telling folks, the public, my experiences, what has gone on with my ET abductions, and what it's like being an ET experiencer, and what I've been told by different extraterrestrials. And when it comes down to it, when you put all of our information together, when you put all of the experiencers' information together, so ET abductee, contactee, encompassing it all, and that includes if the person is in SSP, secret space programs, or MK Ultra programs, or MyLab programs, Montauk programs, all of that. It all, we're all experiencers. We all have knowledge, and when you put all of that knowledge together, then you get a more of a well-rounded picture. New waves. What do you see in the? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing cards right now. I'm not doing psychic readings right now. So the real Speedy. I used to know somebody named Speedy. God, that was 45 years ago. Hello to everybody who's come in to chat. Thank you, Joe, for being in here. I really, really appreciate what you're doing. Thank you, my dear. Hey, Para. How you doing, Para? Lost my connection. I'm back. I'll probably be in and out all night. Okay. Thanks, Joe. Thank you for letting me know. Seriously. So I wanted all of that said. Oh, 166 on the numbers. Interesting. And if you hear me calling out numbers, it means that I'm recognizing numbers that are typically known as angel numbers. If you believe in angel numbers, if you don't, that's fine too. But that's why I'm calling them out. What else? So all of this needs to be said. We are all coming together, the ET, quote-unquote, disclosure movement, whatever you want to call it, because government has been doing false narrative BS for the entire time, and only in the last recent years have they started actually releasing different things, and in this past year they really started releasing a number of pieces of other information, including CIA releasing information on MK Ultra, where there have been U.S. government hearings on it. A hearing. I can't remember if there's been 2 or 3 now. Anyway, Kitty Cattywhack. Hey, hun, how you doing? Hey, Johnny, who says, I'm just Johnny. Howdy. Hi. Hello. Yes, thank you, Para. Para says, hey, folks, please don't forget to hit the like button, and when you can't, it helps the show. Also, subscribe if you can, or if you're willing, if the subject matter is interesting. Tonight, it might not be as interesting because it's just one of those, it's been a really, really, really busy week this week. And I didn't get a chance to write the notes that I wanted to, but which is one of the reasons why I put in the S4 Paranormal Bunker link in the description box to that specific episode, that specific show and episode, because I was asked so many questions that I have not been asked before, and or asked in different ways. Anyway, just go in and listen, and you can pick and choose what you want to listen to, all that kind of stuff. So if you have questions, good, I hope you are too, Nikki. Yes, please put the thumbs up. Yeah, actually, I am tonight. I'm tired tonight. Other than that, I'm good. I've had problems sleeping, but that's kind of typical with being a targeted individual and repeated and 12 on the numbers. Being a targeted individual and going through frequency weapon targeting and all that crap. So it affects the circadian rhythm and that's never fun. So and speaking of circadian rhythm, ETs, when you're in one of the depending upon which hybridization program you're in, yeah, that will get your circadian rhythm usually gets really screwed with too. What is targeted individual? Let's see. Just curious one is saying, what is a targeted individual? A targeted individual is somebody who, for whatever reason, is being targeted by government. They are on a payroll. And yes, there is gang stalking. Yes, it is valid information. There's so many different pieces of information out there, and we're usually targeted because we were some sort of asset in one of the programs, and because we're coming out, and basically we're whistleblowers is what's going on. And we're talking about our experience. So when you start talking publicly about your experience, either just before you start talking, excuse me, like I said, it's been a long week, then you usually start getting targeted. Now, it can happen also at the same time that you're just thinking about it but haven't actually done it yet. You can be targeted without even wanting to be public about your information. Oh, hey, Flat Sixer. Hey, Jody. Kamadu, are you being targeted? Yes, I am. That goes into... Thank you for the question. That goes into because, well, one, not all ET abductees are targeted individuals by whatever government, your own government. Hey, Cindy, sorry. I knew I should put my glasses on tonight. I do apologize, son. So, what happened to me? Ulysses, is that your name? Ulysses 3341 is asking what happened to you. So, I'm a lifelong ET abductee. My first memory is at... Whoops. Let's put this up here. My first memory is at 4 years old. The strongest one that I remember the most. I was on... Whoops, hello. Let's move that. Got all my tincture bottles sitting there. I was on board an ET ship, and my first biggest memory is that because I was so enamored with it. I was just awestruck by what I was seeing out a window. But before that, my first memory on board that ship is watching Earth. So we're on the ship, and here's the great big ball. Here's Earth, and great big round Earth, and we're leaving Earth, and you can see it getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller as further away that we got. So many were at the ages of 4 and 5. Yeah, a lot of us. And see, that's the thing. I found out after being a psychic medium at the at the beginning of this year, I found out hardcore from my mom had died last year in February of 2025. Sorry, I gotta have a swig of this stuff. My throat's getting dry already. That's not a good sign after only 14 minutes on. Thank you. And so that's fine if you believe that. Yeah, let's... But we're not dealing with that in my chat tonight. Nope, I'm not doing psychic stuff tonight. I've done an extensive amount of that all week. Anyway, so my point being, with that, I found out from my mom, who was on the other side, I mentioned our abduction in the van when I was 5 years old. And my mom started crying. And she goes, yeah, we were. And then shortly thereafter, she told me, Nikki, we were abducted while I was pregnant with you. I lost my ever-loving shit over that one. That was the first time I'd ever heard that. I knew that from toddlerhood I'd been abducted. I could feel it, but I don't have any memories of it. My first memory was that, and then a number of months ago, I had a memory of when I was 3 years old. I literally, it's not a strong enough memory to where I'm retaining it, and then you add the targeting with that. So, Kamadu, please forgive me if I'm mispronouncing your name. Okay, I need to flip this over just a little bit, or move the whole thing. Okay, there we go. Why don't the government just talk to you rather than target you, or what do they want in your opinion? Oh, they want us shut up. They really want us dead. There are people that I know that are so badly targeted that they are given cancer. They are hit so hard with frequency weapons, what are also known as psionic weapons, that and it's so invasive now that when somebody is at an event, they're out in public, they can be hit really hard and get violently ill, and they can't figure out why they are violently ill because it's not from some virus or from some food toxicity or something. And then a week or 2 weeks later, or even a short amount of time longer, they find out that they are riddled with cancer. So a lot of people in the ufology industry, or in the community, ufology community, those experiencers, those people who have been out for years, get targeted, and they start getting targeted pretty heavily. It's because it's a slow version of murder, and they want us dead. They don't want us talking. They will find any way that they can to stop us from talking. And I've had I was like, okay, so when I first heard about the targeting, I was like, yeah, okay, I understood, but didn't really, and I know people that were experiencing things, but I wasn't experiencing that at the time. What I was experiencing was men and women from the CIA, and I knew they were from CIA because I psychically saw their work and all this other shit, and they were in astral, and they were coming in and out of my home because another form of targeting of me that they were doing originally wasn't working anymore. So they went to a whole new level. And that level went into these, what I call government asshats in astral, showing up in my home, uninvited, observing me, and not just observing me, and you can smell them. And being a psychic medium, not only could I smell them, I could see, like I said, their work. I got their first names. Sometimes I got their first and last names. Sometimes I saw their homes, inside their homes. Sometimes I saw their partners, or if they had children. They got so pissed off over Catherine that they murdered her. No joke, because when I was standing in the shower this year, she comes running and screaming from a long distance. And because she was screaming and calling me, you cunt, you bitch, you goddamn da. And she went off the mark, mouth going a mile a minute, or a mile a second, whatever. And she's screaming, and she's at a dead flat ass run. She had been unalived moments before. And she was out of her body and livid with me because it was all my fault. And I'm like, then stay out of my frickin' home. I'm going to protect myself. The other side, God, Jesus, I've had other hierarchies, other royalties. Tell me, you've got carte blanche to protect yourself. So I protect myself. I don't do an unaliving, but I will protect myself. And they don't like that. And I just had one earlier at the beginning of the week, and it was a new female that came in, and I'm like, keep her out of here. That's one other reason why I went public last. No, it wasn't last Monday or Tuesday. I think it was last 2 Thursdays ago. I think I'll have to 2 Mondays, Tuesdays ago. Anyway, I'd have to go back in and look. But I mentioned it on my last Saturday live broadcast or live stream. Trying to not use the word broadcast because it's a live stream, and yet people got really technically and super bitchy with me about using the word broadcast. I'm like, whatever. So anyhow, oh hey Sedona, how you doing? Hi Lazarus, excuse me. That's scary. Yeah, it can be sometimes, but it's really frustrating. It's very maddening that these people do this, and it's not okay. They're being extremely invasive, and they think that people that don't know that they're showing up in their homes. And they're doing this not just to me, but to vast amounts of people. Plus, because I'm home, they want to know what area I'm in. They want to know what I'm doing. And now I'm like, whatever. I'm not some... I get so frustrated with it. But I know people that have it so much worse than I do. They're being gang-stalked, which means they're being followed by a group of different people, followed at different times. Their cars and financial institutions are being screwed with. It gets really, really invasive when you deal with specific government targeting. And it's from, as what I understand, now this is just, I'm going to classify this as my personal opinion, but at the same time, this is from personal experience, and this is from what I have witnessed from other people. And because of our technology that we have with our cell phones now, you can actually... Hello to the 32, and thank you for the 17 likes. Please hit the like, share, subscribe button. Oh, here we go again. I'm going to try a different one. I'm going to try my iced tea, see if that works. So yeah, this gets really invasive. It gets, for some people, it can be very, very terrifying. Some people have had government agents in and out of their home who are moving things, who are screwing with the locks, who are putting in devices in the home. I mean, it gets really super invasive. So this is, and I did have, in the very, very beginning, I did have 2 agents come in on 2 separate occasions that I'm aware of come into my home. Not going into that, you'd have to go in and find my other broadcasts or my other replays of this series of stuff. Drake, can you read my horoscope? I'm not doing any of that. Kitty Cattywhack, I was 5. Yeah. Oh, that is so wild. Yeah, it gets, what did I just scroll into? Hi, Breezy, how you doing? Cindy, Joe, Kitty, Para, Flex, Sixer. Trying to make sure that, everything, I'm not missing anybody. Euless 3341 is asking, are aliens friendly? Extraterrestrials, hi Divine Hazel, how you doing? Extraterrestrials, some are not, and some are wildly vicious. They're just, in this sense, they're very much like humans. There are many different kinds of personalities, many different kinds of belief systems. The extraterrestrials, that's natural and normal with any species. Hello, think about it, folks. Think about what's going on across this planet with political, with education systems, with civilized different way civilizations have been on this planet. Well, that's what goes on with the ETs as well. Think about this. I mean, do your critical thinking skills on this, folks. Do you? Matt Martin 9074 says, "Do you fear for your life?" No. There have been a couple of times I've seriously questioned some things, but fear for my life, no. And the interesting thing is I'm not afraid to die. I've never, I was just thinking about that yesterday. It hit me when I was watching, I actually got an opportunity to sit down and watch TV this week, which doesn't happen that often as like it used to. And I just needed to come down. And because of something I was watching, I just was like, wow, that's something I hadn't thought of. I mean, it was kind of a mind bender. Hang on. Where'd it go? Oh, hey, Christian. Angel boy, how you doing? So, ever since I was a little kid, I always said I was not afraid to die, Mom. Not afraid to die. And then I started realizing it's how. So, how you pass, that's not a happy camper about. But actual death, no. And I now understand that a lot of that is because of the many past lifetimes. The other thing that I realized, now I might start crying over this one. The other thing I realized yesterday, there was some other, I stopped watching whatever movie I was watching, and I flipped on a TV show, old TV show. I don't even remember the name right now. Don't care. But one of the things that I realized because of and it was a comedy, something that was said triggered this as a realization for me. And that realization is that, do you honestly realize how many things have to take place in our lives to make very specific things happen, and how long that can take sometimes? That is something that it hit me really hard last night to where I started crying and thanking my family, because I realized that if it had not have been, now I've known this for a long, long time, but if my grandmother were not my grandmother, if my mom were not my mom, or my great uncles and my great aunts, they were all, and the two second moms that I had in my life, if those individuals had not have been in my life the way they were at that time frame in life, things that I know that are going to be taking place for my future are because of my family. They are part of a well-rounded, a very large, well-rounded system. I don't know how else to say that. And if I had not have been raised a specific way, in a specific belief system, even though I had certain family members who were extremely religious, while others were not at all, and others were almost all of my family members that I was raised around had an open mind. Do you understand how big of a deal that is? Now, granted, there are many factors involved with that. Granted, there are many aspects to that. Going through life, I did not have an easy time of it. Growing up in different ways. And at the same time, because I was bullied from, it was just, you go with the bullying shit all the way into being the ET abductee, into being surrogate mom at 13 years old. I now understand why, I'm just going to be blunt, I now understand why my menses were the way they were between the ages of 9 years old to 13 years old, because my hormones were being effed with by those in the hybridization program. I now understand that. I now understand why certain things have taken place in my life and why they, and that's the thing that you have to really go in and do a deep dive. Ooh, 27 on the number. Wow. Okay. That was interesting. You don't see that very often. Anyway. So it's a build-up to what's coming in my life. That's huge. And that's something that, and there's sometimes there's stagnicity. I don't know if that's an actual word, but things get stagnant in somebody's life periodically. That happens in my life too. And then you start moving energy around. And what I mean by moving energy around is simply clean your home. That's moving energy around. Washing your clothes is a different, especially because I've known, oh my God, I've known so many different kinds of people in my life to where some have been clinically depressed, where they're not hoarders, they are minimalists, but because of their clinical depression, things start stacking, let's put it that way, and things become dirty. I'm not like that. I've got things in my life where I've got little sections, and I now understand part of that is my dyslexia. Some of that is probably some version of ADHD or ADD or something along those lines. I've never been diagnosed with that, but I suspect, I have suspicions. So there are different aspects of that. But everything is in boxes and containers because, hello, in the 1990s we had Martha Stewart. And Martha Stewart was talking about organizational skills back then, and in the early 2000s, besides the cooking and all the baking stuff. And it wasn't just because of her, it was different TV shows. What is it? HGTV, back in the day, it was HGTV and redesigning homes and a couple of really well-known, famous, oh God, I can't even think of their names right now. There's one gentleman who did a lot of drama and a lot of things, and he was really good about lighting, and I used to follow him all the time because of how he did things. And at the time I lived in a tiny little house. So, and you want to make things, I mean, like really tiny little house. You want to do things differently. So, yeah, you've got to make some realizations about your life and how things play into that life as you grow up, as you age, as you become, in your 30s, in your 40s. Well, I'm now 58. I'm in my late 50s. God, I hate the thought of that. Oh, you're in your late 50s. Ugh. Anyway, I had no problem with 55, 56. So I hit 57 and I'm like, what the? I had a hard time with that. So, okay. Oh, hey, Andrew. Para is asking, is there something short of your demise that you would make them... Okay. Is there something short of your demise that would make them stop harassing you? Great question, Para. I don't know. I think if I had an excessive amount of money and all different kinds of levels of protection, meaning security detail, meaning clothing that dealt with frequency that could block EMF and frequency clothing, and I mean full clothing. We're talking dresses and long sleeves and up to the neck, because they target with these frequency weapons, they can be individuals. So the people that I know that have been so heavily targeted, and some who have died because of the cancer that they've gotten because of their frequency weapon targeting, or the Havana syndrome that they've got, or some other horrific thing. I don't know. I would buy land and go to an architect and say, hey, let's design a house for me where the entire freaking house or a huge section of the house is a Faraday cage, and go about it that way. I don't know. That's a great question, Paramarv. It's an excellent question. But the problem with that is, then what do you do and deal with all the technology that we use? Oh, do I have some? Oh, I do. Ugh, a little white fuzzy in my hair. So what do? What's realistic? I used to sleep under metal sheeting because the targeting was so bad, because they were targeting my genitals, because they were targeting not my liver, my kidneys. Then last year they started targeting my thyroid. And I would turn bright red all down in here, and then it would go straight up my head and my whole head. Yeah, I mean, I've got white hair. You could see red. I gotta find something that's actually red. Not pink, red. Hang on a minute. You could actually see, and this is a pair of glasses holder case, you could actually see this kind of red coming through my scalp. I hadn't been outside. Although I'm outside a lot more now. But anyway, well, not as often as I'd like to be. But anyway, so, or different sections of my arm. You literally, your skin, when you are microwaved with these direct energy weapons, your skin burns almost all the way down to the veins. That is very serious, heavy-duty targeting. And there's people that it gets wicked. It gets really wicked. So that's a great and excellent question, Paramarv. I don't know what would make them stop harassing me. My name being off of a list and them stopping, I don't know. What would it take? Maybe a direct order from somebody higher up than them? And my name being removed from lists? I don't know. Not a clue. But do I know who is the direct result of the targeting? Oh, yes, I do. I know his first name and his last name and what his job was, and that he's retired. So, yeah. Oh, Drew, you changed your symbol on your... You turned it to a chicken instead of... Okay, that's cool. Hyson85, I think that's how you pronounce that name. Hasten 85 says, I think most aliens, if not all, are fallen angels. No, they're not, and they're not demons. There's a very, very real difference between an extraterrestrial, what you're calling an alien, versus A fallen angel. I've known some fallen angels. Have talked with them. Have talked with a number of angels. Oh my gosh. Speaking of which, I just heard Gabriel's name. Wow. Okay. I'm usually hearing Michael's name as well as, and I just lost it. Anyway, point being, they're very different. Fallen angels are very, very different than demons, and they are very, very different than as completely different species, folks. And they live in the ethereal. They live in their own realms. Extraterrestrials live on different kinds of planets. They're in the physical. They can be interdimensional, but they don't live there. At least not the ones that I am aware of and know. So there's kind of a offhanded subject. Hello, Martin D1, who says, I met an alien recently. He kept wanting to phone home and demanded Reese's Pieces. Oh, yeah. That was a great movie, wasn't it? E.T. E.T. Phone Home. Yep. Good movie. Let's see what else we have here. Hey, J Truthseeker. It was great to see you in the chat the other night. I don't remember where the hell I was, but hello. It's good to see you. Corn Plum 80. Aliens are mere distractions from the synagogue of Satan. Well, that's an interesting take on it. Yeah, and that's a great question, Paramarv. Why would a spiritual being need a physical craft to fly in? It's a great question. Todd Corbin, 500,000 missing each year. 90% are found. 10% are never found. That's 50,000 people. Yep. Cornplum, space travel doesn't happen and it's not possible. If that's what you, okay. If that is what you, sorry, try not to laugh about things like that, because if that's what you believe, that's what you believe. That is not what I know as what I have experienced, what I have witnessed, who I know, and all of that. So, oh, hey, Sil, how you doing? You didn't get notified. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Tonight was kind of a weird thing. So, Cornplum 80 is saying space travel doesn't happen and it's not possible. Well, that's your opinion. Divine Hazel, I disagree with it, but that's all right. Divine Hazel, question. When they break into our homes, why do they steal items? Documentation, evidence, could be for numerous different reasons. I honestly don't know. Oh, God, I gotta trim my bangs tonight. Going out, tomato. Going out to see a friend. So, anyway. Yeah, well, to me, family member. But anyway, have you been... Traditional Rose 1 is asking, have you ever been visited by the Men in Black? No, but not, okay, I need to word this very carefully. Not that I remember. No. Government agents, yeah, I've had 2 episodes of that where they were in my home. But I do personally know a Man in Black. Actually, I just realized 2. But the first one is the one that I always think of. So anyway, and he's the one that I know. He's quite public, so. And I met him because of James Rink. So, and then I met him because of other situations. So, there's that info. Kamadu, have any movies you have seen gotten close to what ETs are actually like? Yes, a lot of different movies. There's Star Trek. There's, oh God, there's so many. There's Star Trek. There's Close Encounters. There's Jupiter Ascending. There's in some way Battleship. Certain aspects of Battleship, the movie Battleship. Oh gosh, there are a number of the different versions of Star Trek. In other words, Next Generation, all the way into the movies, from the TV shows into the movies, into just a number of things. Cowboys and Aliens is another one. God, there's so many. I can't think of all of them. You know, that's a good idea, though. You just helped me to realize that I should probably start keeping a list of... Speaking of which, let's write this down. Because I can tell you right now, I'm not going to remember this, and I don't honestly know when I'm going to get a chance to re-listen to this to get this up on the... in the description box. Because I've got another big week coming up. Joe, you're out for a bit. Okay, thank you, Joe, for coming in. I really appreciate you coming in. Para, you've mentioned how you call out the angel numbers, but I don't think you've explained why you do it. What's the significance? Is it some form of celestial bingo game? That's a great question, too. The reason why I like 4034 right now. The reason I call out an angel numbers is because a lot of times when you go into, say, for example, and I'm just going to use this as an example, Google or some other search engine for looking up, it's kind of like numerology. Yeah, it's kind of like numerology. Numbers mean certain things. Just like colors. Like, this is not the greatest of color for me today. Usually it's more like... so colors mean things as well. So like I was wearing this earlier today, and that looks better on me. So, and my camera screen, I don't know what the hell is going on with it, but it keeps, and it might be an ebb and flow with my internet. So my face is going a little bit yellow and then goes back to the natural color and then goes a little bit yellow. So color, just as in numbers, matter. So like the color purple is usually meant as royalty, has been in history for hundreds upon hundreds of years, if not over 1,000 years. So different colors mean certain things, just as different numbers mean certain things. And when you start in with that, I've been seeing a lot of ones lately. So like 111, 1111, 444, 555, 606, 808, 404, 505. There's other ones, 515, 616, 717. Those kind of things are what are angel numbers. They all have different meanings. And sometimes that can help a person if they feel stuck in their life or stagnant, or they've got something just odd is going on in their life, and they're like, I'm not sure how to really proceed with that. I don't really want to deal with it. Something. It may help them when they go to search that on a Google search or for an angel number, and it shows the meaning, what it's typically. Now, a lot of people don't believe in this. That's fine. But I've been learning more and more that many do. And I'm of the opinion, if it's going to help somebody, I'm going to call it out and say, hey, keep this note. Like we had 36, 35, 35, 35, 36, 35, and now 40, 35. So those numbers may mean something to somebody else. Like 222 is a number that I've been seeing a lot lately as well. So when you start registering, I don't remember what everything means, but go do some looking up. If you're not whoa, I got a hierarchy coming in. They're going to be, and they're close enough to where it's affecting my equilibrium. Anyway, so there's your answer, Paramarv. I hope that helped a bit. Anthony Rivas. Is my birthday no bullshit? I have people say my aura is way too high. Anthony, it may not be your aura. It might be more along the lines of your chakra system that you've got really high up. Oh, hey, Woo Riders. How you doing, hun? Tell wife I said hello. Tell Desiree I said hi. Anyway, so that might be the thing. There are 2 active CIA assets in chat. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I didn't see Robert. You're saying hi to Robert? I didn't. Oh, there's Robert. Hey, Robert. Thank you for coming in. Okay. Krug I8G says, hey, how you doing? So, okay, let's see what else we have. Okay. Whoops. See? And I go to hit a button just a little too long and it opens up the really bright stuff. I hereby move to enter stagnicity into the accepted vernacular. Thank you, Flat Sixer. Lauren. Hey, Lauren. Hi, Nikki. Greetings from the new earth. Hello, hun. I'm always watching. Keep that in mind. Okay. C. Beanham? Hi, can you sing me happy birthday? No, but I can wish you a happy birthday. I hope you have a very good birthday. Good morning, afternoon, and evening. Let's see what else we got here. J Truth Seeker says, don't worry, Nikki, I'm in the same boat and they are finally rolling out the med beds for age regression. Yeah, well, yeah, they're trying to keep people younger. So I've been told by a couple of different psychics over the last few years that I will be in a med bed and I'll cross over at somewhere between 112 and 119. So who knows? Excuse me. Let's see. Oh, Rue Riders. I'm so sorry. I'm not repeating that out loud. Fashion by Faraday. I should start the clothing line. Yeah, says Para. Kathy, hey Kathy. Kathy Doherty is asking, have you been taken lately? Yeah, last week. Robert knows about it. I think I was taken because I had the body sensation and my time was off. It was wonky as hell. And the only time I get into that situation is when I have been abducted. My body's reacting, my brain is reacting, but I have no memory of it. I've had that happen quite often. It's very frustrating. Let's see what else we got. Miss Tessa Marie. Hey, how you doing, Miss Tessa Marie? Kidneys. Okay, so I'm really far up in the chat. Okay, I'm trying to get back down into this. PDV Vision 5540 reptilians are the bad ones. Not necessarily. It's the Dracos. There's a kind of a difference between the Draco reptilians and the lower down reptilians. I know some reptilians that are very nice individuals. To classify, here's the thing. When you classify an entire species, an entire race of people as bad and evil, you're doing a disservice and a disjustice to that species, to that race, and to those people. And it's a form, you got to be careful with that, because it's really a form of bigotry and a form of hate. So, you know, what's going on this planet regarding humans doing that to other humans, don't do that to another species. It's like calling certain dogs, they're vicious dogs and they're always, no. That's about training, that's about how you treat them. There's also, see, love how soft this is, but they do not fit correctly because I'm such a large busted woman. It's driving me nuts right now. So buttery soft though. Anyhow, so yeah, classifying, you got to be very, very careful when you're dealing with that with extraterrestrials. It's the same with humans. Don't do it. Don't classify them all, lump them all into one lump sum. That does nobody any good. Oh, cool. Thanks, Drew. I didn't know that about the rooster. Okay. Miss Annabis, do ET travel through portals? Yeah, some of them do. Matter of fact, there's an opening. There's a gigantic portal opening at the end, quite a distance, but at the end by Neptune, one of Neptune's moons. Is it Titan or Triton or Titan? I don't remember the name of the moon, but anyway, quite some distance from that area, there is an opening, a gigantic portal into another galaxy, universe, I don't know what else to call it. But anyway, yeah, that's... and then there are wormholes, and they can open their own portals. Some ships can open their own portals and wormholes and stuff. So, yeah, I don't have a clue as to how the hell that's done, though. And just an FYI, some humans are capable of being able to do that with their energy. They can open their own portals. C. Gormantix? C. Gorman, Texas. TX? I don't know. That could be anything. Fallen angels are now called demons who impersonate aliens. Open, shut. No, it's not open and shut like that. Not at all. Total and complete misinformation. But if that's what you believe, that's what you believe. This might not be the podcast for you. Okay. Let's see. Yes. Robert says Stargate SG-1. Yes, that was another one. Thank you, Robert. That was driving me nuts. I couldn't think of the name of it. It's exactly what I was thinking of, too. Woo, so we got pomegranate juice on. Yeah, pomegranate juice is really good. It help lemon juice, lime juice, and pomegranate juice are really, really good for the body. Helps for different things. Do your research. Robert says Battlestar Galactica. Yep, there's another one right there. Paramar says at C. Gorman TX, if aliens are demons, then why are these demons helping people with physical ailments, fixing lung problems, fixing kidney problems? Yeah, doing surgery. They did surgery on me for sleep apnea. I mean, that's a big freaking deal. That's huge. Why would they do that? 101 on the numbers. There's another one. Another angel number. Blue Rider says the new Disclosure Day movie was a huge letdown. Okay. Yeah, there are a lot of people that would agree with you, and then there are a lot of people that would completely disagree with you. I have not seen it. I don't have the 1750 to see it in a movie theater, or the 19. What is it? What the hell was it? 1985 or something like that. $19.85 for seeing it online. I don't have that kind of extra money. That's just little stuff for some people. For someone like me, that's kind of a big deal. I don't have it. Play B Doll is asking, do you believe in astral projection? Yes, I do. Hey, Sandra. How you doing, dear? Sedona, CERN shutting down things have been strange lately. Yes, they have. Okay, let's see. Looks like somebody's being very, very religious in chat. Thank you, Robert and my mods. Yeah, it's one thing to say about Jesus' name. It's another thing to start preaching in my chat or being very extreme. I'm not putting up with that, and my mods know it. Because that's not okay. Thank you, Robert. For those who are not trolls and aren't here to show off their specific kind of minds, please hit the like and subscribe and share buttons. Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Robert. Busy chat, Nikki says, so yeah, it is. I'm trying to get down there. Para says, actually, trolls should hit the like button too on their way out. At least they'd be somewhat useful that way. Yep. Okay, let's see. Getting through here, folks. I just want to be sure that I'm getting towards the end. It's quite the chat tonight from the looks of it. I'm sorry for the lack of me talking. Okay, now here's a subject. I got really snotty about this, and it's very unusual for me to get as snotty as I was, but I was not very nice. Missing Time 420 says, "What do you think about Dr. Phil getting into UFOs?" I made quite a statement on his Facebook channel. For whatever his Facebook he had done, he was being interviewed. And for whatever it was a reel, it came up as a reel, and he or his team had put a section of this interview as a reel on his Facebook page. And I don't follow the man. For whatever reason, it came up in my news feed, and I was like, "What the hell?" And the things that he talked about, I was like, why are you in this? Why is this predominant for you? I got kind of snippy and kind of snotty about it because, yeah, I get the psychology. I understand all of that, but if you don't have, I would be questioning motives. That's all I'm saying, and I don't want anything really to do with his show, because there's certain individuals that I've known in the past that have had issues. I'm like, no, I've learned too much. Yeah, I'm like, no, thank you. From other people's firsthand experiences, I'm like, no, I'm not a fan. But I take great issue when somebody who's not in it and who all of a sudden it's becoming, it makes me think of, is this simply monetization for another subject? But I don't know. I don't have any psychic hits on it. I don't know the man personally. I only know what certain people I have known have had firsthand experiences with, or because of. I don't know how to word that, but anyway, and he may be very nice individually. I don't have a clue. But I've learned a few things, and I'm like, it's like there's a few people in greater media that I would stay away from, and I'm just not interested. But you never know; things can change. So let's see. But I question why he's getting involved. Hot button topic. So yeah. Let's see what else. You subscribed. I Love Wolves 1234 says I subscribed. Thank you for subscribing. That when I am genuine, when I say I appreciate something or something means something to me, I mean that. I mean that from the heart. I am genuine about that. I'm not just blowing smoke up people's wazoos. It's just not who I am. So if you find this useful information at all, or in any way, share it out. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. You may find other information here that may be more pertinent to what you know and what's going on in your life. We talk about, because the folks in my chat, we talk about a lot of different subject matters, not just ETs. We talk about energy work and frequencies and different forms of psychology, things that helped me, things that if they can help me, they might be able to help somebody else. And I've always been about that. If somebody can be helped because of some other piece of information, and then you do your research. You take that on for yourself and you do your own research. I'm all about you've got to. Oh, whoa. 11011 and wow, we're about to be 111. Wow, okay. So that's the thing. When you notice numbers, if you're not noticing, you're not paying attention, not a big deal. But if you are noticing and you are seeing certain numbers, take that into account. Go find out. What does it mean? If it doesn't apply, it doesn't apply. Anyway, I've always been about finding moments of beauty in your life, creating your own moments of joy, because those are the healthier things to do for oneself. 11101 on the numbers. Doing things that will help you advance your energy or your focus or regain your focus. That's why I always say, quote unquote, do your own research. It's a mantra of mine. One of the other mantras is moment of beauty. So you've got to find things. And I was wondering when the itchy face was going to start to kick in. No dear. Excuse me. So you got to find things that work for you. What works for you? If you got stagnant airflow or stagnicity in your life, figure out a way to get things flowing and moving. Change up the room environment in your home, or your workstation, or wherever, or in your car. There are people I've known that have had horrifically messy cars, and others that I know that are neat freaks simply because of where they work, and if they have anything viewable in their car, they work in an environment to where that's where people break in and steal stuff. So it's like, you got to do what works for you, man. You really do. So, okay, let's see what else we got here. Euless 3341, where are the closest aliens on this planet? Closest? They're on and in this planet. There are a number of... Oh, that I did want to talk about. Okay, so when you talk about... Thank you for asking that question. Euless. Okay. Where are the closest aliens? Closest extraterrestrials? Well, there are many living that have integrated into society. They look human. They can pass for a human. Okay? Not a problem for these folks. Not a big deal. They're well integrated into society. It's just not a big deal. At least in my opinion. But depends on what they're doing. What kind of energy work do they have? Are they psychic? Are they telepathic? Are they capable of that? If they're not, they're not. That's the thing. Not all extraterrestrials have that ability, have that capability. But it's well known. It's quite well known in places like Brazil and different sections of Asia. Las Vegas is another one. That's known that different individuals will come into a casino, and the the folks that are the professionals behind the gaming tables will not even recognize that they had somebody there. I didn't have anybody here. What the hell? Who are you talking about? So there's situations like that, and yet on security cams, that's right there, plain and simple, that they were there, but they mind wiped because they literally took the memory right out. I mean, they blocked it from them. So yeah, there are individuals that can do that. Matter of fact, there's a number of extraterrestrial bases on Earth, quite well known, in fact. There's a couple of them in Australia. There's a number of them across the United States, a number of them in the oceans. A lot of them have been where they're at for generation upon generation. It's not that big of a deal, but the thing is that the greater public doesn't know, so it is a big deal to them. I understand that. But in the grand scheme of things, this has been their planet for generation upon generation. I got told about an extraterrestrial base outside of Ireland. Ireland? Yeah, outside of Ireland. And I've talked about that. I off and on for a number of years talked about that. It's not that big of a deal. And although they've got their island, their location well cloaked because of the kind of technology that they have, and they've been here for over 1,000 years. So, they chose this planet to call their home. Do they integrate? They did originally when they first got here, because I was shown exactly how they went about doing that. It's a totally different subject. Okay, hang on. Let's see. I want to keep going down. Hey, Nick B4VW. How you doing? So you're fine. You're not bombarding my chat, hon. You're doing good. Michael Yergo M8U7T says, wait, do you believe in God? I'm just asking. I'm an atheist. Yes, I do believe in God. Call him Source, because it's easier for people to handle. But yes, I do believe in God. Bestie Plays B1M says, I like your background. Thank you. Thank you for all the hearts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, Woo Riders, I know. I'm about 5 to 10 minutes behind in chat. That's why I'm trying to catch up. What I'm reading right now... Oh, Marilina's in here. Hey, Marilina, how you doing, hun? I'm trying to get caught up. Right now, you guys are talking about Dr. Phil, and let's see. other things. Okay, so let's see what else we got here. Champlain. Hi, Nikki. How are you doing? I'm okay. I'm tired, but I'm okay. Let's see. Andrew, Gnomes Trucking Express says Underground Nevada even. Yes. Oh, I think I'm catching up. Oh, I'm almost at the bottom, I think. Currently here, present. Yeah, Charles Hall tells about it in his book, and there is a documentary on Tubi called Walking with the Tall Whites. It's pretty good, says Paramarv. Cool. That's good to know, Paramarv. Thank you. Tall White, Drew says the Tall Whites are very different from the Nordics, though both are pretty tall, too. I remember about that. Yeah. Oh my god, I'm finally at the bottom. Woohoo! At the bottom of the chat. I'm with the current chat. So thank you for all the questions. You guys have done some great jobs in asking me questions. If you have any more, please ask away. But yeah, this is a hot button topic, and people have a hard time with it, and it is what it is. Okay, hang on. Hair's driving me nuts. I'm gonna put that out of the way. There. Oh, God. You just get these little things that just... There. Oh, my goodness sake. There we go. All right. Okay. Hey, that was not okay. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate that. That was a really wicked comment from Fonda. Phonda. Yeah, that's not okay. Thank you, Joe. Makes more posts for Nikki to read. Laugh out loud. Yes, you do, Robert. Syl, Nikki, how can we reach out to you? You can reach... Thank you for asking that question. You can reach out to me on email. restorebelief2022@gmail.com. You can leave me a comment or a question underneath each, and put the @ symbol first, at Restore Belief. At Restore Belief with Nikki, and then it's _ ANGE, and I don't remember the numbers after it, but that usually starts the ball rolling. Leave me a question or comment in the comment section under a video. You can also message me on Facebook Messenger, and I think that's it. So I can be found. Thank you to Paramarv, and thank you to Cole Wegleitner. They are the two gentlemen who have been able to put me on Rumble and have been able to put me on Spotify. And I kid you not, that's just such a gigantic deal that these two gentlemen are doing that for me. Huge thing. I am on Twitch. I'm not on it very often, but I'm not using it as broadcast or live streams or that kind of thing. It's more like just personal stuff. Look in the description box. I give a list with the name of what I'm listed as, because you've got Restore Belief with Nikki, you've got Angel, you've got Nikki _ Angels Are Life. You've got Angels Are Life. There's Restore Belief. It's just there's a list. So just look in the description box. I'm putting that in there as well. Okay, let's scroll back down. Let's see what else. Oh, sweetie, Marilena, I'm so sorry about the middle ear infection. That's not fun. I know what that's like. Wow, Marilena, I didn't know that. Marilena is saying, by the way, many people from Europe in origin are leaving South Africa. They can't, if they can afford it. Wow. Hey, little Cam, how you doing, hun? Missing time. If you do subscribe mode only, it cuts most of the trolls. Yes and no, but then I also it stops also with opening up other aspects. So I kind of go back and forth with that. On top of it, I have not been able to do that on this channel via this device, and I don't know why. I've tried doing that. It didn't work. So that was very frustrating. So that's the other reason why I haven't done it. I have gone in to try to do it, and on this device it just doesn't work. Flat Sixer says, I'm dozing off. It's great seeing everyone, but the Sandman is coming for me. Yeah, Sandman is calling. I understand that. Let's see. Oh, I'm at the very bottom. Woohoo! Okay. Anybody else with any more questions? I'm trying to think of other things. Hey, Cheryl, how you doing, hun? I'm trying to think of other things that came up. But the stuff Caleb talked about on Wednesday on the S4 Paranormal Bunker Show, my God, I was just like, wow. I wish I could take the question and answer series of that and just put it in right here and have you listen to it, because while I was live streaming, because it was like, wow, okay. A lot of really good questions, a lot of really good, in a lot of ways, scientific questions. So, what else? I'm trying to think of anything else. Marilena, I missed it. Says, I missed it, Nikki. Yeah, it's I put it in the description box below. There's a link for it, and it gives the timestamp numbers, or approximate timestamp numbers, in which you can go and look. So that might be of use to you. Hang on, gotta hit mute a moment. All right, thanks. I'll look it up. Okay, good. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to go right back to it. If you've got somebody saying that they're an expert in this, just run. They're an experiencer. They have what they know from their own experiences. Does it make them an expert? No. You have information, and when you put it together with everybody else's, then you get a well-rounded, or pretty well-rounded viewpoint of what is taking place. It ends up getting kind of wonky sometimes because there's so much information that experiencers have experienced. Whether, like I said, whether that's with the extraterrestrials, whether it's with my labs, which is teaching and training, amongst other things, And also forms of torture, but that's another subject. Then you've got MK Ultra and Montauk and you got SSP, and which is secret space programs. Some people call it secret space or secret space force. I got told recently that because of what I talk about, they believe that I was in Solar Warden with SSP instead of Nachtwaffen because I have such a significant dislike for Nachtwaffen because it's Nazi based. And I take great issues with. I was thinking that was the other thing I was thinking of yesterday was how much I seriously dislike H.I. Latour, H.I.L. Tur. I'm going to put it that way. Do not like that and that individual and what he did to this planet, to the people of this planet, and it's vile, it's sickening, and I take great issue with it. Great issue with it. And a lot of people in Nachtwaffen were forced into that program. And I take great issue with who was controlling that. So, yeah, that gets into a whole nother subject. They had me, when they grounded me in SSP, they had me working in the control room. I can tell you quite a bit about that control room. I don't describe it a lot of the time. Mostly because my memory, I have more memory that comes in, and then I start focusing on that one memory that just popped up, just got triggered, and I started remembering it, and I start focusing on it instead of the entire stupid freaking room. And that was when I was on Mars. So, what do you say to that when somebody tells you I was on Mars and I was on the moon and went through a that's the other thing. I just recently saw Star Trek Beyond. I don't remember what year that came out, but anyway. And they were bringing people back on an old starship platform, transporting them. And you have the character named Bones, and he's like, yeah, I don't like this. Well, that's how it was. There's a feeling when you get on one of those platforms that gives you like the soul creeps. It's like type of feeling when you go from being transported from the MoonBase to the Mars base, and it's just a really sickening feel, and it's I don't know what happens. I know I was told. I can feel it in my body that I was told. It's like I can hear somebody talking, but the sound is, it's like coming through wood and a bunch of pillows. It's muffled. It's like really seriously muffled, and I can't hear any of the words, but you can hear the wah 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 wah, that kind of thing, and how they're talking. It's muffled. I can't hear, but I know that I'm being told about the platform and that I have to step up onto it, and I'm like screaming in my body, not wanting to step onto this platform. Well, You know, when you get a gut instinct about something regarding that kind of technology, that's why I get really frustrated when I hear about people talking about, oh, the moon landing wasn't. Yeah, actually, the moon landing was real, but there were also a serious amount of shitassery that they did in faking stuff. So you got a two-sided coin to that one, and it gets very frustrating. Uh, and where there's another one where uh, people heard something hit the moon, and people heard a ringing for an hour. Well, yeah, that makes sense. And I just recently saw a video that. Sorry. Ooh, I didn't realize my ribs hurt. I just recently saw a video where somebody was talking about the scientific evidence of one of these big devices that was shot off from Earth. It's been orbiting, and now it's making for some reason it's making a trajectory to the moon, and it's gonna hit the moon, and I'm like, oh, that's gonna be a loud. They're talking about, oh yeah, supposedly NASA's talking about, it's gonna create a crater this big on the moon's surface, and I'm thinking, well, that's gonna be a short thing, and that's gonna sound like shit on the inside. That's gonna be fun. So it's gonna ring again. Anyway, I find interesting things like that. Heebie-jeebies, says Robert. Yep, Battleliner. Yeah, it gives me the heebie-jeebies big freaking time. It's like, yee. I don't ever remember being transported from Earth to the moon, but I remember being on the moon base, and I remember being in this cement room, going down a hallway and taking a right and going into this. I also remember going down from the other way, going down and taking a left into and it's same stupid room. But anyway, walking into this room, it's all cement, or what looks like cement, and stepping up onto this platform, and it's square. It's not round like what's in Star Trek. It's literally square. It's a square platform. And there's some kind of circle on that square. I don't know what that is. I don't remember. I remember it's kind of like some form of metal. And you're supposed to wear rubber shoes. I remember that. There's something about the shoes. You have to wear a certain kind of shoe to go. Yeah. And then going from the moon base to I don't remember getting to I don't remember the transport, but I remember walking out of a room on the moon base, or not the moon base, the Mars base, SSP base, and I didn't have to step down. It was completely different there. The technology was totally different. It was the same, but yet not at the same time, if that makes any sense. Why did nobody tell me ass was this? Yeah, Robert. Marilena, question regarding traveling. Am I correct when I say that we are moving through portals and not linear travel? You gotta ask our Keith Andrews for that one. Marilena, I don't have a clue as to that one. I just know what like I said, I only know what I've experienced. Marilena says, like air flights, the Earth isn't flat or completely round. Yeah, it's not flat. It's kind of like this, not quite an egg shape, but because it's like but it's round. When you're viewing it, okay, when I was seeing the Earth at 4 years old, from that experience, when I was seeing the planet and it was getting smaller. It looked like a perfect round sphere. And that's how it was when we got closer and were coming back. Now, we were, how do I say this? We were removed from the window when we got much closer, so I don't know how, not pitted, how egg-shaped or how, I just know it's not completely round. It's kind of like, so you got the round, but it's oblate spheroid, says Lil Cam. Thank you. Oh, gigantic hugs. Experienced it as moving through dimensions. Yeah, now, when you talk about moving through dimensions, I'm going to tell you something. I was so stunned. I'm trying to remember what year this was. I think it was 2011. It's 2010 or 2011, because I had my heart broken. I lost trust in absolutely everything and everyone in my life because of what I was told that year. I mean, it was, hey, Michelle, how you doing? Michelle Street 9497. Hi. We're not doing political stuff here. Palestine, don't even start. Kid you not. Thank you, Lil Cam. And it's just, I lost my freaking train of thought because of that. Shit. Somebody remind me what the hell I was just saying, please. Freaking hell. Bloody yeah, but dimensions. Thank you, Marilena. So that's what I was going to say. So in 2011, somebody told me something that just flabbergasted me about the 1990s. Flabbergasted me so badly, talking about the shape. Yeah, thank you, Jennifer Lloyd. I appreciate that. That they saw something completely different from the 1990s than what I had experienced. And all the people that I knew that could back me up and that could definitively say, this is exactly what took place in Nikki's life. This is what happened. This, all the way down the frickin' line, right? They're all dead. Every frickin' one of them are dead. Pissed me the hell off. But what I learned from that is I had two other people shortly thereafter tell me the same mother effing thing as this other person. And I went, that is not what took place. That is not. And I just shut my mouth and I went, oh my God, we jumped timelines. Jumped dimensions, I don't know what you would call it, but I know that what they talked about was with what I witnessed, what I heard, everything I experienced, what they were talking about was a flat on balls out frickin' lie. And I was astounded. And when I talked to other people about what I was told, what they had witnessed, they're like, that is not what you experienced. This is what took place. I was there with you. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, when were you there? And they told me and I went, oh, that's right. I do remember that now. And then I calmed down a little bit. But one of the things that I realized was that, yeah, we were having an integration of a person stepping in to a different dimension, and it was happening. And I was just blown the frick away. These people actually believed what they had seen and experienced. And yet I knew what I had seen and had experienced. I was dumbfounded because I have it written in notes, I have it written in journal notes. And yet they're telling me, Nikki, this never happened. This never took place. This was not said. And I'm like, I've got it in my fucking journal notes, pardon my mouth. Got it in my journal notes. And then this other person was like, this is what took place. You're correct. So when people are talking timeline slips or timeline jumps or dimensional shifts, it's happening. It has happened. I can't say who they are. I had people tell me that they were like, it was this way and this way alone. And I'm like, but it wasn't. Matter of fact, there's even medical documentation for certain things. It's in medical history for that individual, for me, for this individual. And I'm like, I'm just stunned. Absolutely, utterly stunned. And it's not from their perspective. They're literally telling me this is what they witnessed, and I'm like, that was never done. That was never once done. Excuse me. And I know they're not lying. That is exactly what they experienced. And I'm like, that's not what happened. That's not at all what took place. And we're not talking abuse. We're not talking anything like that. We're talking mundane shit. But I'm like, a matter of fact, I even have photographic evidence because I was using a SLR, single lens reflex camera, back then. And I was using an old Minolta single lens camera with a 50 millimeter zoom, or 50 millimeter lens on it. And that was before I got my zoom lens, before I practically borrowed. I didn't steal, but I saved up to get my zoom lens. I don't even remember it was really minor though. It was like, was it like 80 to 105 or something like that? It's been too long. At a store in downtown Seattle on 3rd Avenue. I can't think of the name of the store, but I can picture it. Kind of like a surplus store on 3rd Avenue in middle of downtown Seattle. So, yeah, I mean, events literally changed for them, but they hadn't for me. Do you know how scared I got over that? I really freaked out. Combine that with the fact that I was being told other information that literally broke my heart. Well, not physically broke my heart, but I mean, it shut me down in such a way. I had to climb up out of a torrential pit from that situation because of what I was told. I literally lost trust in not only myself, but I lost trust in every single person in my life. It took me over a year. It took me hardcore working on it. That's one of the very, very few times that I can say I was depressed. There have only really been 2 or 3 times in my entire lifetime that I've ever really been depressed. And that was one of them. And it took me a long time to work my way out of it. And I used my old counseling techniques to do it. And I knew that I wasn't depressed enough to unalive, that kind of shit. Because I strongly do not believe in that. And I take great issue with it. But I worked my way up out of it. And that's why when I talk about When I talk about it comes down to you yourself to make yourself happy, yeah, people can help create happiness in your life. But when it comes down to it, it comes down to you. You have to do the psychology work. And if you don't believe in psychology, that's on you. There is in human lives, there is psychology that deals with how things ebb and flow and how we function and how we speak to each other, how we deal with things, and how people are, whether they're an abusive bastard or a loving, caring individual. There's things psychologically that go with that. And I know a couple of people who absolutely, I'm going to use the H word, hate. They absolutely hate anything to do with psychology and do not believe in it whatsoever. And I'm like, how the hell do you live your life? I mean, and I mean, it gets really interesting having conversations with them about these things. So, or having had. Yeah, that would be better. I am not doing cards tonight. Don't go there with me tonight. I'm not doing that tonight. So, hey, Jack Black C3R. How you doing, hon? Yeah, life's a trip. It really is. Jennifer Lloyd, has anyone heard of the Matrix and Earth being a prison planet? Oh, yeah. Lauren, I have seen and read the archives of most of your. I can review all of your. Yeah, Pleiadians, as do the, not archangels, that's not what I was going to say. The librarians of the Akashic Records. There we go. Thank you to my mods. Thank you, my mods. This is a big deal. I'm going back up. I'm seeing different things. Yeah, Mandela effect. Oh, you've had Mandela effect even in your own trucking. Wow, I didn't know that, Drew. Is this what led to the Mandela effect? Jennifer Lloyd is asking. No, as far as I know, what led to that is a combination of what CERN was doing. Well, that's a whole nother subject, though. Marilena, I love the Arcturian. Yeah, me too. I really do. Sometimes I get a little snotty with them because of certain things, but in the grand scheme of things, yeah, I really do like them. Akashic records are real. Yeah, they're very real. Cause and effect. Yeah, I'm glad because there's a huge series of things that they've been doing that have really screwed with this planet, to say the least. Okay. Just want to be sure that I'm catching up with everything. And I think I have. Okay. So, I think I'm done. I think that's pretty much it right now. I'm getting that lightheaded feeling. I feel like I've got a combination of actual health. In other words, mucus in the sinuses. Something has created mucus in the sinuses. I don't know what, but something did. And at the same time, I've got a hierarchy coming in, so I'm getting like a double whammy. That's fun. That means I'm going to be lightheaded for a while. Thank you, Paramarv. Paramarv is putting in my the YouTube and the Rumble, Facebook, Thank you, Para. Can you find me on Spotify? don't I don't know I know it's Restore Belief. I don't know if it's with Nikki or with Nikki Jacobs. I don't remember how we did it. But if you could do that, that would be great. Best fudge comes from. Is that Uranus, Missouri? Is that the name of the town? I don't remember. I'll look again. Okay, thanks. You tried. Yeah, see, I don't remember what the name. I literally I know I'm there. I just don't remember what the heck the name. I don't remember how the name is. God, that is. Okay, hang on, guys. Apparently, I'm gonna have to take a tablet to deal with the sinuses because this is like wow. This is okay. Who is the hierarchy? Who's David? Which David? God, that's like me last week when I said I know many Johns, and then I was like, oh my God, that came out wrong. Well, it's because I used to know John Vincent, and I used to know who was a Australian firefighter, and he was an Australian. He wasn't a paramedic. He was Australian military, and then a Australian firefighter, and I think he died of cancer. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly. So I know many, many guys on the other side whose first name is John, and I know many men who are living whose first name is John. So it just came out wrong. Oh, thank you, Paramar. I was putting in the S4 bunker. And it just went Nikki of the Mini John. Yeah, Robert. See, it really comes out wrong, doesn't it? So my link just went off and came back on, so I don't have any idea how long. Yeah, I know. We're not going to talk about that one, Joe. Not publicly, anyway. Thank you. Show me state pride. Yep. I know a lot of people in Missouri. There's a young woman who I highly, highly respect. She's a retired scientist, and I just give her great kudos for everything that she's done and has gone through in her life, and what she's trying to accomplish regarding. I can't go into it. I just realized, but anyway, I commend her strongly and highly. Anyway, I think that's it for right now. I've got a big tomorrow that I'm very, very much looking forward to, and getting to see a loved one and getting to spend some time with her, and really looking forward to that. Don't get to do that very often. So it's now 3:03 a.m. Eastern. The Palladian Healing Frequency broadcast will begin at 3:33 a.m. Oh, really? That's interesting. Thank you, Lauren. 9:02 a.m. says Marilena. Yeah, you're in South Africa, correct, Marilena? Robert said 5:03 p.m. down here. He's in Australia. He's in northeastern Australia. I got a brain fart. I'm trying not to say the name of the city, but I forgot the province. Queensland. Thank you. Sorry, Robert. That's awesome. Sil says that's awesome, Nikki. Hope you have a great time. Enjoy it with people you love. Yeah, I'm so looking forward to it. We haven't had a chance to spend some time together in a very long time, and it's like old home day. So it's very nice. Anyhow, yeah, Marilena says plenty of South Africans live in Australia and New Zealand. Yeah, yep. And I've known some folks to move to New Zealand. Don't know if they're still there though. That smile is great on you, Nikki. Thank you. Yeah, when I think about this individual, I light up. Yeah, we used to live nearby each other, not neighbors, but neighborhood neighbors, I suppose, is near each other, and yeah. So when you don't get to see your loved ones very often anymore, it's kind of a big deal. So anyway, I hope. Oh, we're at the 2 hour mark exactly. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend, rest of your weekend, and that you have a phenomenal week. I've got another busy week coming up. I hope you all do well. And hello, TJ. I'm literally just ending this live broadcast. I hope that y'all do well and have a very good week, a very blessed week. Take very good care of yourselves. And I hope this was useful. If it was useful to you, then please hit the like and the subscribe buttons and share it out. Anyway, take very good care, folks. Adios for now. I will catch you next week. I don't honestly look in the post section of my channel and scroll down, and you will find the. Thank you, Jennifer Lloyd, for subscribing. You will find the 3 or 4 dates that are at the 5 p.m. Pacific time hour, and the rest of the Saturdays are all the usual 10 p.m. Pacific time. Anyway, Saturdays are the 10 p.m. Pacific time. That's the normal time. And yeah, there are a couple of 5 p.m. Saturdays due to schedule issues for that weekend. So anyway, take very good care. Much love. Gigantic hugs. Bye, folks.